Please state your name for the record, sir.
Roger Cook. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Today is the date and time set for both a bond violation as well as a pretrial in this case. As to the pretrial in this case, people have made an offer to be held open through today's pretrial of plea to count 1 under 4A and count 2 would be dismissed. I have had an opportunity to discuss that with my client a few times, and he does not wish to accept that offer and would like to set the case for final settlement conference. And as to the bond violation, he does acknowledge the first one, but we do admit to the second bond violation dated, I believe, the 31st of October.
So he admits to say that again?
He does not admit to the first bond violation, but he does admit to the second bond violation, which I believe was the 31st dated bond violation. He does admit to that bond violation, but I would also like the contact, Your Honor. Yes. And I would also like to address bond when appropriate.
Yes, Mr. Allen.
I may proceed, Your Honor.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Hook has been very involved in his case and speaking with me and in his defense. He was very honest and did admit to this bond violation. He does understand that he messed up. He does understand that he should not have had any contact with her in any capacity after your court changed the bond condition on October 18th. He does acknowledge that he violated that bond violation, and he was wrong in doing so. However, he does state that he has not had any contact with her since that last alleged bond violation, that he will further not have any contact with her pending this case. He does have full-time employment, and he's been there for 4 months. He works directly under the foreman as a lead operator with Lawrence and Clark, and he does have a full-time position there. Outside of these alleged bond violations, he has been in compliance with his GPS tracking, which he is currently still on tether for, and he does reside with both of his parents during the pendency of his case. We're asking, Your Honor, to allow him to remain out on bond while this case is pending, as he does continue to maintain his innocence in the underlying charge and is hoping that he will be allowed to continue working while this case is pending.
Ms. Lundy.
Thank you, Your Honor. The people are requesting that the court remand the defendant without bond pending his final conference date on December 6th. The reason for this is multi-factor, and I'll start with the earliest. July the 22nd, this defendant was present with the defense attorney, Ms. Pate, and the victim requested phone contact for the defendant to have contact for child exchange and parenting matters, upcoming family birthday party. The court modified the no contact order to allow that contact. Then when we were next here on this September the 9th, we set the final settlement conference dates. Now the final settlement conference was set for October 18th at 9 o'clock in the morning. If the court will review the bond violation report, there was a message sent by the defendant to the victim on October 18th at 9 o'clock in the morning that says, "Do you realize you being here, I'm going to jail today." That's clearly not contact about the victim's children. That's clearly not contact about parenting matters. That's a direct communication to the victim to, people would argue, potentially influence how she would proceed on the case and whether or not she would ultimately cooperate, appear, and continue to move forward with prosecution. After the court modified that no contact order, we have those continued contacts, and it's no longer an alleged bond violation, it is a bond violation, he submitted to it. So, Your Honor, the concern of the people is that the court gave this defendant the chance to have contact with his children while he was out, and he used that opening as a way to have contact with the victim. The people are requesting the remand.
Any response?
I have nothing further, Your Honor. I would just ask that Mr. Hook is on a GPS tether currently. To my understanding, there have been no violations of that whatsoever. These contact violations, which he has admitted to the second one, are the only alleged bond violations. We are asking that he remains out of custody so he can continue his employment as well as residing with both of his parents. His father is with him here today.
I gave him an opportunity. I mean, because typically I don't do that. When there's no contact, it means no contact. And I allowed him to have contact, written or electric, regarding the minor children only. And then there's contact that doesn't involve that at all. And so all he did was take advantage of the court's good graces in terms of doing that. And I'm not going to tolerate that, because what I should have done, if the children weren't involved in it, I would have just said, forget it. And I just wouldn't have allowed any contact whatsoever. And then I allow the contact and he abuses it. Defendant's bond is revoked, defendant's remanded.
Afternoon, sir. Are you Kirk Edwin Jensen?
Yes, I have documents in here that I just filed with the clerk, and I need to submit them here.
Is that this thing called non-statutory abatement?
That's it.
All right, I got it. I provided a copy to Miss Davis. It's entitled Kirk Edwin Jensen, Reign Citizen, Reign of Heavens, a set apart place. Charge 23661, charged with operating with no license in your possession. I don't think you can be convicted of both of those, as I said at our arraignment. And then the third count is a civil infraction, no proof of insurance, could probably be charged as no insurance, but it was charged as a civil infraction.
I have the proof of that here,
May I see it? All right, that's the person that owned the car.
Correct. Yep.
All right. Let Debbie see that. All right, we had kind of a chase our tails around at the time of the arraignment. You are, what do you wish to be, a Reign citizen?
That I have a social compact and a body politic, which gives the authority for the credentials that I had when you had said that you were going to try to get those from him and see them for yourself.
Yeah, I don't know whether Ms. Davis got that or not.
We did get additional information from the agency in Detroit regarding passports, and they confirmed that they are fraudulent. So if this doesn't get resolved today with the plea as charged to these misdemeanors, then we will be amending.
Become sovereign citizen.
And I do not claim that in any way, shape, or form.
All right.
I rebut that. I completely rebut that statement.
All right. Well, I tried to think of a term for it.
Well,
just a minute.
Okay.
Let me get my thoughts together here. We had a guy, Mr. Aiken, a couple of weeks ago, and we went round and round with him, and he wanted a jury trial, and he didn't show up, and then he was found in contempt, and he went to jail. And I said, well, how about willfully misinformed defendant? That's too cumbersome, or willfully ignorant defendant. And then I was laying in bed between then and now, and I thought, follow me here, Mimsy were the borough groves. It's like, what the heck does that mean? It's from the poem Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll. It was written in the 1800s. It's a nonsense poem that doesn't mean anything. And more importantly, there was a science fiction story written maybe during the war called Mimsy Were the Borough Groves. It's a very interesting story about some toys that were sent from the future back to here. It's pretty relevant right now with cell phones. And the third line is Mimsy were the borough groves. And what is a borough grove? It doesn't make any sense. So my term for these people that come in with this kind of nonsensical jabberwocky is going to be borough groves. So this is borough grove. This stuff about self-claimed contracts and Exhibit B and C has no lawful effect. So the question I have here is, do you wish to have a trial on these matters, or do you wish to enter a plea to this?
So does the body politic and social compact, is that being disregarded?
Correct.
Okay, then I'll go with the trial.
All right, then I will. Do you want to have an attorney to assist you?
No.
All right, you sow the wind and reap the whirlwind. The prosecutor's going to charge you with some sort of felony charge. What charge did you have in mind, Ms. Davis?
I believe that Prosecutor Marvin looked it up and it was fraudulent documentation, basically manufacturing fraudulent passport and a fraudulent license.
We talked about Conch Republic passports. Whatever you had, and this false passport and some claim that somehow you had an international driver's license. You have to have a driver's license from somewhere to have an international driver's license. And this
Right.
isn't it?
And I had that too. I have that too, yes.
All right, well,
One last question. The documents that were taken by Mr. Brooks, I want,
Held by the Sheriff's Department and the evidence lockers. So certainly we would introduce those as exhibits.
all right. Well, you're always polite enough, but you're
I stand
this,
firm.
well, this,
I
it's, the
stand
problem
firm
with
on
this is insidiously dangerous. People decide on their own that the rules don't apply to them. And even though they're polite and respectful, you're yanking my chain, and this is a waste of our court's time and Miss Davis's time.
I intend to prove that
All
these
right.
things are correct.
All right, maybe you do, but they aren't. This stuff is meaningless. And if everybody decided like you that they don't need a driver's license, they don't participate in our social contract, and they wish to use our public roadways and our streetlights and our court system, but hey, it doesn't apply to me, things would break down. The rule of law would cease to exist. So it's polite, but it's insidious and it's dangerous. What's next? I don't have the social contact, so I can punch somebody in the nose. I can kill somebody. I can sell drugs. The rules don't apply to me because I'm a RAIN citizen. Well, it don't work that way, at least not here in Michigan or in St. Joe County. Same rules apply to you that apply to everybody else. And you're going to get charged with a felony document fraud case. Do you want a bench trial or a jury trial?
Jury.
Yeah, the same thing. It's hypocritical. The rules don't apply to you, but you don't mind bringing in 30 of your citizens. Jury trial. Mimsy, we're the Borough Groves. That's what this amounts to. 'Twas brilling on their slithy ties. It's a bunch of nonsense. And so, Mr. Borough, I will see you on August 16th at 8:30.
Your Honor, just to clarify a few things in anticipation of that. As far as service, Mr. Jensen, will you accept service at the email that you have on this non-statutory abatement?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so just wanted clarification that I'm going to send a witness list to him, make sure that he has the supplemental report from.
Yeah, there is
Detective
one thing
Steers.
that it does have some merit in here. He asked for discovery. So yes, your request for discovery is honored, and the prosecution will provide.
Filed
And what
today.
email will I use to respond?
Yours would, the email that it comes from, which is PROS
Okay.
at stjosephcountymi.org. As far as witnesses, the people would intend to call Deputy Kevin Brooks, Detective Sergeant Brian Steers, Chris Catone from the TSA, and James Herdman, Special Agent Diplomatic Security Service from the Detroit office.
Will all that be included with the email?
Yes, I will do a written witness list. So
What's
you
that
have
officer's name?
The last one, James Herdman, Herdman. And then potentially this Cheryl Pulaski.
The owner of the car?
Yes. I don't believe there might have been another backup officer. Let me double check. I don't know if we'll need him, but
Even though you have these mistaken beliefs, what's your objection to having an attorney to help you with this?
I do not choose to have anyone, any bar or associates representing me.
All right. If it is not charged as a felony, in the meantime, you're to be here August 16th at 8:30.
Okay.
And do you have any witnesses that you wish to call?
Potentially the owner of the car. I'm not sure at this point.
A right not to testify.
Mhm.
If they're allowing you to drive the car without an operator's license, that could be a misdemeanor in and of itself. So that's something to consider. But we'll address it further. We'll see what Mr. Marvin and Ms. Davis elect to do with this.
For further witnesses, would Zoom be available?
No, they be here live and in person.
Okay.
All right. Any questions? All right, you're free to go.
Thank you.
If you are new to my channel, please subscribe as I edit these cases and remove all of the mundane, boring, repetitive stuff. And I even remove the silences, so you get only the juicy bits, which I think are always the best bits. Are looking for another episode that has all the boring stuff cut out and gives you just the good stuff, then here a couple that may interest you. Enjoy.